one, because one person understood the principles, the learn foundation, the learn principle, the foundational principle of design, and the others didn't. You understand? So I'll be going on the theory. I just want you to follow me, and if you don't understand, I want you to know. I know signify so that we can quickly wrap things up. Some of our classes can be up to 1 hour, some of them can be 2 hours, and thereabouts. But I just do hope that you are patient enough to understand what is being taught. If you have a note, you can keep a note, and just try and be attentive. Try and be attentive so that you can benefit holistically from the class. And please, you can try and mute your mic if you are not talking. You can try and mute your mic if you are not talking. So that the class will not be too rowdy. Okay, so as I've said, we go into the class for today. Today I'll be talking about design generally, talking about graphic design, and talking about how to identify a good design. See, this is I'll be teaching you sometime. Don't be bored, because eventually I've seen that that's what separates the good people from the worst people. In fact, it was when I had knowledge of this that my design journey became experienced an exponential growth. I was able to come up with creative stuff every time. So many times in design, we have something called creative block. That's when you are trying to work and then you're not being creative. So this is the knowledge of these principles that enabled me to navigate these creative blocks. You understand? Because if you have the basic principles, you can whip out something creative, something good, regardless of how you are feeling at the moment. So just try and follow me and understand what we are going to be talking about today. Okay? So according to the class, we have sorry, let me just restart. Let me restart let me restart what I'll be presenting so that we can. At the point I was moving my PC higher than ish. So I will. Okay. Just stay with me. Okay, so I believe you can see this now. So introduction to graphic design. Okay, so what is design? So design basically is, depending on this what we are talking about, is just generally design is a process of deliberately creating a product that meets a set of needs. So I will not rushing us, but I will just be as quick as possible. Now there can be the concept of a design comes into play when there is a need to be met. So that's why as a designer, graphic designer, you have to know that you're not just bringing colors together, you're not just bringing images together, you're not just bringing text together. There's a particular need you're trying to meet. There's a particular message you're trying to communicate. So these are the things that will now influence your combining of those elements together to give you a good work. So design is a process of deliberately creating a product to meet a set of needs. A process of deliberately creating a product to meet a set of needs. Okay, let's go to the next. So what is now graphic design? So now graphic design is a process of visual communication. So when you're talking about graphic design, you're talking about visual communication. Is a way of solving a problem. But now the way you are not solving this particular problem is through visual communication. You are solving a problem by combining typography together, by combining fonts, for combining photography, illustration together, and to form a visual communication. So as a graphic designer, you're not just designing for designing sake. What you are doing is like you are combining things together. You are forming, you are bringing elements together. Just like when a builder wants to build a house, the way a builder will bring cement, bricks, pillars, rods, and all those things together to build a house. That's the same way also you as a designer, you are bringing the elements of design. You are bringing typography, bringing photography, bringing illustration, bringing shapes, bringing texture together to communicate. So now the end goal of a designer's work is to communicate is to communicate. That's the end work. That's the end. That's the end point of a design. Is to communicate. So now, is the creation and combination of symbols, images, and text to form visual representation of ideas and images. For example, I might have an idea in my head, and all I just tell you to is to communicate the ideas to you. Sometimes I won't test you, okay, I want a design on this and so. So now, I will now have to now create and combine symbols together, combine images together, and text together to form a visual representation of these ideas and messages. Sometimes, for example, if as a designer, if I'm not going to use symbols, images, and text in a very creative way, of course, then my clients could as well just send me a PDF, send me, maybe use a Microsoft Word document, just type, okay, the Border Internet Prayer Network invites this person, just type it in Microsoft Word and go and print it and share. But that's not what they want. So they want something else. So you need to use symbols, images, and text to form a representation of ideas and images. So that's what graphic design is about. It's a process of visual communication. That's like, if you want to make it in short, a graphic design is a process of visual communication and problem solving. So you are solving a problem. So anytime you are designing as a graphic designer, you have to know that you are solving a problem. You are not just doing this thing. You are not just designing for designing's sake. So when you know that you are solving a problem, you know that, okay, what am I solving a problem for? What is the problem in the first place? So what am I solving a problem for? And those information will not inform the way we come about creating the solution. So those problems will come about, you now define the way you now solve the problem. You now determine the kind of elements you bring together. You determine the kind of visual communication you want to give to solve the problem. So as a graphic designer, you have to have at the back of your mind that you are a problem solver. You are a problem solver. You are a visual communicator. You are a problem solver. So you have to, so that I'm telling you that so that you have to have at the back of your mind, so that you don't end up creating problem even with your design. So you are a visual communicator and you are a problem solver. So types of graphic design, I'll just talk about this briefly. You have a product designer, you have a branding design, we have a website design, and we have print design, we have publishing design, we have environmental design, and we have animation design. These are the kind of designs we have. You understand? So I will send us the PDF so that you can go through this. I don't want us to waste much time on any segment because we are short of time already. Okay? And as I said, I will from here on, I'll be sending us some videos for us to watch so that we can be part, so that we can so that I don't want us to miss every time because my schedule might not be able to afford that. So I'll be sending us some videos for us to learn from as time goes by. Okay, so 10 basic indicators for identifying a good design. Please, I hope you are following. Are we following? Okay, please, if at any point you can't hear me or you don't know what I'm saying, you don't understand, just feel free to notify me. You understand? Feel free to notify me. Okay, so then basic indicators for identifying a good design. How do you identify a good design? How do you identify a good design? I will be taking questions later. I will be wrapping up the class very soon, so I will be taking the questions later. But 10 basic indicators for identifying a good design. And number 1 is a good design is innovative. A good design is innovative. Innovation basically simply just talks about creating a solution, like creating a new, so to say, solution, bringing up new ideas from existing ideas. So a good design is innovative. Number 2, a good design makes a product useful. So when you are designing now, as a graphic designer now, as I said, there are different areas of graphic design. Now you are seeing product design here. You are seeing there's also advertisement design here, but it's not here. We have branding design, publishing design, environmental design. Now, the kind of design you do for churches is what you call advertisement design. So you have to understand the kind of niche you want to focus on, and from that niche, you now know, okay, what are the peculiar needs they need. What do they need? For example, if I'm a product designer, As a product designer, you'll be doing designs for things like let's say a product. Maybe somebody is launching a new product. You'll be in charge of designing a product, designing it for the person, designing the product packaging. Like let's say you want to buy, like say when you buy a biscuit, that particular carton of biscuits, that particular carton of that, for example, noodles, that carton was designed by a product designer. So a good design makes a product useful. Now if you wondering that, so also how will a good design make a product useful? Now, as I said, every product has a need. There's a purpose for every product. So now if you are designing for a product, your design has to be able to make the product useful, has to be able to come to make the product fulfill its own purpose. For example, when you are designing for children, for children packaging, like children products, you see that there are specific colors you have to use, but these are the specific colors that triggers emotion, that triggers action in children. If you are designing for a corporate organization, there are particular ways you make the design. For example, I don't know if you have ever experienced it, that you are walking through the store. Maybe you have a child and you are walking through a supermarket with your child, and your child just sees a particular product and say, daddy or mommy, I want this. Not because the child has tasted that thing before, but because the way it was packaged, the way it was fanciful, the way the color were everywhere. Because I think that the child would like to be assisted with. So now a good design makes a product useful. For example, you are to design for a program. Your design should make the flyer to make the advertisement useful. Because the product here now is the advertisement. It means that you should be able to focus on what you need to focus on. Emphasis needs to be laid on what emphasis needs to be laid on. So a good design makes a product useful. When you are designing for a particular product, it should make you useful. That's what a good design does. A good design will not misdirect. Imagine when you make a product for children, but people that patronize that particular product are adults. It means that you in the packaging and everything, they are in the designing, they need the particular people, the target audience for that product was not designed for. So number 3, the good design is aesthetic. Aesthetic talks about beauty. So a good design needs to be beautiful. If you want to remove aesthetic, then the person can as well go and type on Microsoft Word and print. But if they are coming to you as a graphic designer, they want you to give aesthetic, they want you to give beauty to the particular design. You want you to make it, it should pop, it should be, when I say pop now, for example, there are some designs that because of that nature of design, your design doesn't need to pop. Because of that particular product you are designing for. But now aesthetic needs to be put into place, because without aesthetic, then the person can as well just do the design anywhere. Maybe you go and do the design you just go and type on Microsoft Word and print and share. So number 4, a good design makes a product understandable. A good design with points make people understand the purpose of the product. If you can't be designing for a birthday ceremony, and what people understand, when people just carry a flyer, the first thing they are seeing is like, did somebody die? Do you get? It means your design is not making a product understandable. You can't be designing a program for a tech event, and what the vibe you are getting from your flyer is that you are designing a program for a crusade. You have to understand these things, and then you go with that mentality while designing. So number 5, a good design is unobtrusive. It means that a good design will not obstruct the main message. A good design will not obstruct the main message. Of course, as we are going on in the class, I'll be giving examples to us as to how a design can be unobtrusive, as well how a design can be obtrusive also. So number 6, a good design is honest. A good design is simple, it's honest. A good design does not lie. You don't exaggerate what you don't exaggerate, and you don't talk low on what you need to talk high of. Number 7, a good design is long lasting. For example, if you are a brand designer, that's people that design logo, that design brand elements. You won't be designing your logo for a client just for them to come after a year and tell them they want to redesign. Your design should be able to last time. Your design supposed to last time. Like when you're doing broad design, your design supposed to last like let's say 20, 10, 50 years sometimes. That maybe if there could be modification maybe as time changes, but a good design is long lasting. Number 8, a good design is thorough down to the last detail. When you are designing, you don't just do shabby designs like you leave a part out and abeg I'm tired. No, when you are making it, when you are designing, your design needs to be thorough down to the last detail. You have to check your work, because I've worked with an organization when I was starting up as a designer. I've incurred a lot of loss. If I was working with an organization at that time, and I made a mistake on the particular flyer, on a particular design, and they printed it, thousands of the copy, and they now saw that mistake. Do you know what they did? They had to deduct the money from that from my salary, and that's professional, because my job is to be thorough down to the last detail. Number 9, a good design is environmental friendly. Now, as I said, there are various nature of design, but when you're talking about design generally, it has to be environmental friendly. You don't design things for the wrong places. Number 10, a good design is as little design as possible. Sometimes that's one of the mistakes that beginners make in design. When they are making designs, you see them jam pack their design with a lot of things, and then the design is now busy and everywhere. In the same design, they are using different colors, using different fonts, so design is looking busy. Or because you have learned this new skill, you want to just make sure that every skill you have learned so far, you want to effect it on a particular design. So the design will not look like an over design. Do you get? It's not will not be like an over design, but a good design is as little design as possible. Even in this age and era where design is even become minimal, it's becoming minimal. Because at this point now, people are not interested in your bulkiness of design. They want to go straight to the point. I've been opportunity to work with international clients, and I've seen that when you are designing for them, they don't want you to do a lot of things to their design. They just want you to communicate the message of course in a good way, that is not harsh to the eyes, something that is readable. You understand? So a good design is as little design as possible. So you have to take note of that. So I think I want to take questions now. So that the next class will be the last personal class I will take. The next class I will be taking us on design principles. On the next class, I will be taking us on design principles on the next class, so that I will be taking us on design principles on the next class. Sorry, design thinking, not design principles now. After design thinking, I will just take us okay. I think I'll just take us on design thinking on the next class. From there, let's see how it goes. But I hope you understand. And please, if you have questions, kindly raise up your hand, and I'll give you permission to ask your question. Okay, Collins Neji, what is your question, please? I'll take it one after the other. And please, you can as well type your question in the chat box. Okay, I'm saying Collins Energy. Okay, how long will this class last? As I said, this class will last in a period of, let's say, per class, like a maximum of 1 hour. Maximum of 1 hour per class. Maximum of 1 hour per class. And I will see how to manage that. And as I said, because of I just wanted to give us the introductory part, one-on-one. But I think even for the next class, I may not have to have this class again. Maybe the next class we'll be having now will just be the practical class. Of course, I'll be sending some videos for us, and from those videos we'll be learning, and then I'll be wanting feedback on the group. I'll be wanting feedback. I'm wanting feedback on the group, so that we can I can be sure that we are all following the class. Okay. So Elizabeth Omawumi Adewumi, I said, can you speak a little more on design when design is unobtrusive? Now, when you're talking about obtrusive, I'm talking about something blocking the view of something. Now, there's a purpose for your design. There's a purpose for which your design you're a contractor for a design. So your design is, it shouldn't be sometimes you design to the extent that our design is like it's overly beautiful that people are not getting the message. Like the message for the design should be communicated simply. Like you make sure that your design for a message is communicated. Don't make sure don't be too extra. Of course, there's sometimes that you want to be extra, but know how to limit yourself. And why trying to be extra? Know how to put a limit on yourself when trying to be extra. So that design you not now put, because of course some of these points I mentioned here, they are connected to each other. Some of these questions are connected to each other. For example, a design not being unobtrusive, I can still link it to the number 10 point, like a good being as little design as possible. Because if you are making your design, you are putting too many things on your design, if it's too much, it become obtrusive. People won't get the message. Now anytime you are designing a design, and then you give somebody and like, okay, what can you see first? What do you think of what do you think this design is communicating? And they are not understanding what design is communicating. They are almost like, wait, oh, what's the main point here? Is like then at that point your design is being obtrusive, whereas a good design is supposed to be unobtrusive. So I hope I've been able to answer your question. Okay, for the downloading of the app, I believe we all have our PCs already. So for the downloading of the app, when the time comes, I will let us know. Of course, if you can pay for it, but to pay for the app now is around maybe 300,000. That's Photoshop. But I find a way so that we can have the free version to use. So if you are using a Windows PC, I will send the link. I will send the link where you can download it, and probably one of these days I will do a video tutorial on how you can install it on your PC. Okay, you didn't get the meaning of design for jotting purposes. Okay, let me just type it here in the chat box. Design. A design is a process for deliberately creating a product to meet a set of needs. But let me just type it here. So that's what the design is. Uh, and graphic design, as I said also, for graphic design too. So this is another more graphic design. So you can just copy out that, and that will be all. So I think you are exhausted. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So uh, yes, I will share the timetable for the classes. Of course, I will, because as I said, I'm going to be sharing videos. This might be the only live class we'll be having, aside from maybe any impromptu, maybe practical ones when that time comes. But for the theories, I believe that if you watch the videos, they'll be more detailed than what I've just spoken now. Okay, so for the share of the, I will just, so that you won't be too uh, so that it won't be too cumbersome on you. I will be sharing them. uh One, like, we'll be having like three. I'll be sharing 3 videos per week. 3 videos per week to us. I'll be sharing 3 videos per week to us. I believe that will be okay by us, so that we can have enough time to go through the classes and still be blessed by it. Yeah. So I think that will be all for this class. That will be all for this class. The Lord bless us in Jesus' name. Okay, so till we see next week, or till we see next time on the chat. God bless you.